After Brady Kachuk was traded to the Florida Panthers, it seemed like the big trades would end. But on June 23rd, four teams made huge trades that have completely changed the offseason. So let's get into those trades. First was the Calgary Flames acquiring Simon Nemec and Maxim Tispakov from the New Jersey Devils for a conditional 2027 first round pick from the Knights, a conditional 2028 first round pick from the Avalanche, and a 2026 second round pick for the New York Rangers, which falls at 35th overall, and Etienne Morin. Nemec was a second overall pick in the 2022 NHL entry draft and has had mixed results since joining the league. He has had his defensive struggles like many young defensemen do, along with some injuries, but has shown upside, and he is still only 22 years old, so he has lots of time to grow. I feel like it will probably be another year or two before he comes into his own, but Calgary has gained a super high potential player. As for the Devils, this trade confuses me a little bit. Unless the Devils are trading for Quinn Hughes, I don't know what the point of trading away a player like Nemec is. He is a right-handed defenseman who can be Luke Hughes' defensive partner in the future. They have other defensemen like Hamilton and Pesce who are older and might not fit into the Devils' timeline, but instead they send out Nemec, and what they get back was future firsts, so they are trading away potential for potential, I guess. And these firsts are from the Knights and the Avalanche, two top four teams in the league, so they won't be great picks. Nemec is also an RFA without a contract, so the Flames get to negotiate his contract going forward. To me, Calgary wins this trade hands down. They get a great prospect like Nemec and only lose a couple of really low first round draft picks and throw in Morin. And I'm just confused about the Devils' approach going forward, because even if they are tearing everything down, I feel like Nemec is someone they should definitely keep. The next trade is the Ottawa Senators acquiring William Eklund, Kasper Haltinen, and Brandon Silva from the San Jose Sharks for a 2026 first round pick, the ninth pick in the draft from Florida. The San Jose Sharks improved their draft capital in the 2026 draft by acquiring the ninth overall pick, but it is at the cost of William Eklund, who is the Senators' hope will be somewhat of a replacement for Brady Kachuk. I feel like this trade gives both teams exactly what they need. The Sharks have been looking to move on from Eklund for a year or so now, so I'm not super surprised that they moved on from him now. But what this trade seems to confirm is that the San Jose Sharks are taking Stenberg second overall and hoping that a defenseman like Verhoff is available at number 9. And if this works out for them, it could be one of the smartest trades of the offseason. For Ottawa, they're getting Eklund, who hasn't been able to crack the 60-point mark yet in his career, but has been a super solid playmaker so far. He is coming off of a 41 and 38 assist season and possibly has the best goal of last year.
Eklund, this is absolute beautiful. I don't want to say it.
He won't bring the physicality that Brady brings, but he can definitely match him in pure skill. And if the Senators don't have any plans with that ninth overall pick, getting Eklund along with Haltinen, who's only 21 years old, is great. If I had to pick a winner, I would probably go with the Senators. The ninth overall pick has the potential to be a huge hit or a huge miss, so getting a guaranteed 50-plus point guy like Eklund is going to work out great for them. If you're enjoying these videos, please, Scott Steven, check the subscribe button if you haven't already, so this channel can get off the floor and on the board. Thank you all so much for your support so far. The next trade is the Washington Capitals acquiring Jordan Kyrou from the St. Louis Blues for Connor McMichael, Milton Gastrin, and a 2026 first-round pick, the 16th overall pick. At the trade deadline last season, I feel like we were all expecting something big from the Blues, but it just never happened. They tried to move on from Parayko, but he did not waive his no-move clause, and it seemed like things just got kind of awkward for them. But finally, they do something big by trading Jordan Kyrou to the Washington Capitals for McMichael and a 16th overall pick. And this, to me, is a great return for Kyrou. Kyrou has an $8,125,000 contract until 2031. So the Blues are able to move on that contract and honestly lose some of the skill on their team. The Blues are in a position with their roster where they need to start getting top 5 picks in the draft, and this gets them closer to that in theory. Last year was tough for Kyrou, only having 46 points in 72 games, but he has proven to be a 70-plus point player in the past, and the Capitals are hoping he gets back to that output while really strengthening up their center depth. Ovi isn't getting any younger, and I feel like Kyrou is going to inject some much-needed energy into the lineup, but the Caps give up Connor McMichael and the 16th overall pick for him. McMichael also had a 46-point season last year, and I know he doesn't have the same track record as Kyrou, but who knows where these two guys' careers are heading. McMichael and Kyrou could have similar skill levels next season already. So to me, the Blues win this trade. They're trying to get worse, but this might not even help them get worse. McMichael is a 25-year-old RFA without a contract yet, so the Blues are able to negotiate with him for a new contract, which I believe will be less than what Kyrou makes, probably between $5 and $7 million a year. So to me, the Blues are getting the 16th overall pick and a player that had the same amount of points that Kyrou did last season. Plus he's 3 years younger. And now the most personal trade for me. The Chicago Blackhawks acquiring Bowan Byram and Jordan Greenway from the Buffalo Sabres for a 2026 first-round pick, the 4th overall, a 2026 second-round pick, 45th overall, and Louis Crevier. As a Blackhawks fan, I don't even know where to start. We can start with Byram. I like Bowan Byram. He's on his last year of a $6.25 million a year deal, and I hope that there is some understanding that he will be re-signing with the Hawks long-term. The Sabres also threw in Jordan Greenway, who is big, can provide some veteran leadership to the super young team, and be a halfway decent depth piece. Byram is only 25 years old and still pretty solid overall. He's coming off of a 38 and 42 point season. The Hawks already have Vlasic, who is emerging as one of the best defensive defensemen in the league, so getting a guy like Byram, who is not as defensively reliable, is definitely doable. But for Byram, the Hawks gave up the 4th and 45th overall pick in this year's draft, and Louis Crevier. And I honestly don't know what is more brutal of a loss. Of course, losing the 4th overall pick for a probable second pairing D-man really hurts. But Buffalo, you got such a stud in Louis Crevier. Like, he isn't going to be a top defensive guy for you, but he's just such a joy to watch every time he's on the ice. He's 6'8" and has an absolutely bomb on him, scoring the fastest goal of the entire season last year at 102 miles per hour. Along with having a breakaway goal
Bouncing puck, Crevier from an angle, pump check, score!
And a shootout goal.
And on Vasilevsky to the backhand, score!
This is one of those death guys that you get a jersey of because he's just so sick. And I feel like Buffalo fans are absolutely going to adore this dude. And on top of that, you guys get the 4th overall pick, who could be Mel Hocha or Reed, depending on what you guys are feeling in the moment. We'll have to wait and see how Byram performs and if the Blackhawks can lock him up long term, but this is a win for the Sabres for me. I saw that Bedard is happy about Byram coming to the team, so that is at least a good start.
Connor Bedard was calling Bowan Byram yesterday from the golf course, telling him how excited he was to get him to be a Chicago Blackhawk.
And that was a huge day of trades from the NHL. Thank you all so much for watching. Comment your thoughts below, like if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more.